What's it like for you being a girl? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Have you ever like thought about that? Like, what does it mean to be a girl?
In the world, or in like the music industry, or in this like band, you know?
In the world in
'Cause
general.
it's so different for each one.
Yeah.
It's such a learning process, you know, and my idea of it changes so much all the time, like the older I get and stuff like that. I'm getting to the point now where, and the idea of like feminism to me changes all the time too, which is really strange, but I'm getting to the point too where like it's okay to be any kind of woman that you want to be, and I wish that the world would see that. Like, if you want to be like this like badass sort of seeming like tough girl with like sleeves of tattoos, not that I'm saying that I'm like a tough girl, because I'm fucking not, but like, you know, then be that. If you want to be like a Paris Hilton-y type with like, you know, a little dog and like an expensive handbag, then like be that and be free to be that, you know? Like, I just wish the world would embrace like every kind of woman, and I feel like it's always this judgment on like, you know, like goth girls hate this and this kind of girl hates that, and it's like, guys don't do that at all. Maybe they do to a certain extent, but not, and like, they're not so aggressive and sort of mean about it, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was surprised about how mean some girls could be, actually.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem too is like the internet. You're anonymous, you know?
Yeah.
And it's real easy to like lash out at people, even if you don't necessarily mean it, but you can just like, if you're feeling sort of like bad about yourself and not in control of your life, it's super easy to like fucking verbally vomit all over somebody and like turn off your computer and go to bed and not have to be accountable for that. And as I get older too, it's sort of interesting, because when I was in high school, I was a total asshole. Complete asshole. Like,
you were?
Kind of. I mean, not really. I was a nerd. Like, I was the weird art girl in the corner that like I didn't have a boyfriend until I was 19. Like, nobody wanted to date me. I was also like huge, like big fat girl making like weird pictures, like whatever. Couldn't get a date to save my life. I was really unhappy, like, you know. And I love to go around calling people sluts. Love to do it. And the truth was that like I was not getting any action whatsoever. So it was super easy for me to be like, you know, like, oh, you're a slut, you're a slut, you're a slut. And then as I got older, I realized how fucking absurd that term is. Like, a slut. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I would never call anyone that now. Like, it's just and I kind of, I don't know if you agree, but like, a slut is such a specific adjective too. And anytime there's like an adjective that only describes one gender, I think it should be stricken. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't like call a guy a slut and mean it like in that same sort of like cut you to the core kind of insulty kind of way, then fuck it. Like, it shouldn't even exist.
True.
So, you know, but you just get older and then you get over that stuff. So it's hard because like you look back and you understand where they're coming from and where they're at, but as a human, it still fucking hurts, you know?
Yeah. I never would have pictured you like that.
Really?
Yeah, because you seem...
Oh, I hate to admit it.
Yeah, you seem so nice and so sweet and open-minded, and I wouldn't have thought that about you.
Well, I'll tell you, it took me starting to sort of like myself before I got there.
You had to like yourself first, and then you could like other people.
Kind of. I think that's how it is with most people. I don't think like people are shitty because they're like confident. Like, they're shitty because they feel bad about themselves and they're like putting it on other people. I think that's always the core of it.
Why? I mean, why does it help to lash out at other people? Don't you kind of feel more miserable when you do that?
I think, yeah. I think ultimately, like, it hurts your soul, but at the time, you maybe feel empowered for maybe 20 seconds.
Do you think it's something that is in people, or do you think that it kind of gets put into you by other people or media?
Oh my God. I think, like, society and media have, like, a huge responsibility with that sort of behavior, for sure. I mean, it's just like over and over and over and over the way, like, you know, women are portrayed in the media and treated, and like it's sort of like you're as good as what your package is, what you look like.
Yeah.
And it's so funny too, because like I've been in a band for 7 years, and the best thing that I could have ever done for myself was not know how to play the bass before I started, because it fucking freed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that being said, I am not a fucking superstar bass player. I'm a great performer, and nobody can take that away from me.
True. Yeah.
Nobody. Well, okay, that's not true. If people attack me, sometimes they say I'm a shitty bass player, and I say, you know what? Fine, fuck you, it's true. But do a backbend and, like, fucking play this bass line. I dare you. But mostly they say that I'm ugly, or I'm a skank, or whatever. That's the attack. And I just think that's really interesting, because it's so fucking meaningless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, like, when I got involved with Mindless, like, I didn't know how to play bass, and I was looking at it as sort of this, like, story to tell. Like, when I got asked to audition and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't have any business doing this shit, but this is fucking hilarious. And even, I can't lose, because even if I bomb this audition, I get to go and tell my friends, like, dude, you're never gonna believe this. I, like, auditioned for this band, mate. Can you believe that? And, like, the X, Y, and Z happened, and, like, we'll have a laugh over it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that, you know, I got the part, but I also, like, that was pretty. Have I ever told you about that?
No, you didn't.
Oh my God, it was great. It was great. I actually had an art show. It was my first art show. I went to art school, and I was so excited about it. It was my first one in New York City, and I had, like, it was a group show, and nobody fancy. It was just like me and a bunch of my friends, but it was my first showing. So I was really proud. And I got a phone call, and it was the manager of Mindless. And he was like, hello, this is blah, blah, blah. I'm the manager of Mindless Self-Indulgence. I hear you play bass. And I had been friends with the door guy at CBGB's, and told him a lie that I was a bass player and that me and my friends were starting this band. It's not exactly a lie. We did have this band, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was basically just banging on the E string the entire time, like, whatever. So Mindless was looking for a bass player, and he was like, oh, I know this girl, she would be perfect. Here's her phone number. So he calls me up, and I've never heard of Mindless Self-Indulgence before, whatever. My art show is that night, so I think I'm real fancy. Like, I'm very excited. And I also think, like, this is like the shit your parents talk to you about when you move to New York City. It was like an after-school special where, like, some pervert calls you up and is like, hey, baby, do you want to audition for this part? And then you go, and they're like, yeah, you look real good. Why don't you take your shirt off? You know what I mean? And then, like, it's all over. So immediately, that's when I, like, red flags were everywhere. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds cool. Let me tell you about me. I'm having this art show tonight. Maybe you want to come by. And I gave him the address, not thinking anything of it. So I go to my art show, very excited, watching people look at my art, watching them all stand around going like, oh my God, who is this fucking crazy person? And, like, they were all, like, shocked, horrified, but some people were really delighted because my artwork's kind of dark and funny and, like, I don't know, disturbing.
Yeah.
So they're all looking at it, and they're all, like, reacting to it, and it was so exciting. So I felt like I was 10 feet tall. It was, like, the coolest thing ever. So this dude comes up to me in the middle of it all, and he was just like, are you LynZ? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I knew it. He was like, I'm the manager of this band, whatever. Here's the CD. And on it was the cover of Frankenstein Girls, which is done by Jamie Hewlett, who I am a huge fan of.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, this shit's like legit. Like, anyone who's associated with Jamie Hewlett has to be cool. So I was like, I talked to him. He's like, you should audition, blah, 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 blah.